Welcome to Body Buddies, home of the Power Foods lifestyle. Take it one meal, one workout, one day at a time. And now, here's the founder of Body Buddies, Kristy Jo.
Oh, hello, Body Buddies. I'm Kristy Jo, mind and body strategist, certified personal trainer, fitness nutrition specialist, and author of the Power Foods lifestyle. And today we are talking SMART goals for fat loss.
When you eat real food in a strategic and scientific way, you'll be in balance, satisfied, and experience significantly reduced cravings. The Power Foods lifestyle is a system of scientific principles, packaged in a way that will help you understand how to fuel your body in a way that's best for you. You'll be amazed how much food you can eat when you're eating nutrient-dense food. You don't have to give up dining out or traveling. The PFL recipe books will help you begin cooking simple but delicious recipes for you and your family. You don't have to be a chef or a nutritionist to start fueling your body for more energy, better health, and in many cases, fat loss. Head over to the products page of www.body-buddies.com to start on your lifestyle change today.
First and foremost is we are talking SMART goals for fat loss. And so let's just define what SMART even means, okay? It means specific, measurable. Now, a lot of people have different words, but these are what we use. Attainable is the A, and then relevant is the R, and T is time-bound. So here is the first and foremost thing you should know being a part of Body Buddies is every Sunday I need you to have an alarm in your phone that goes off. Your phone goes, and every Sunday night it says set your goals. Okay. Actually, where's my goals at? Oh, I put them down here. Hang on. Okay. So I don't know if I know it's backwards, for you, but these are my goals for this week. So, or actually, can you see this? I can read it on the screen. It's not backwards. So anyhow, we have nutrition, fitness, mindset, and spiritual. This is what here at Body Buddies, the 4 categories that I really like to see you guys set goals in. This is what I do and have done for 5 years now. Every Sunday, there's never a week that I don't go into with this done. This is my goals whiteboard. This should never be empty, and it should never have the same thing as last week. So I'm going to be breaking down the strategy behind this and helping each of you get more motivated and understanding the right way to do this, because there is a formula, and that is absolutely what is paramount to following through on your goals. So if you don't have a whiteboard, I'd highly recommend go and get one of these. It sits very nicely on a desk. You can hang it on your fridge. You can put it somewhere in your room, anything like that. So, and I will share exactly what my goals are because I am absolutely in fat loss phase right now. I actually have to get pretty shredded in the next 3 weeks for another photo shoot. And I'm really excited because I haven't done a hardcore shred in a year and a half. So it's intimidating, right? And it's scary, and you can feel like it's a big, overwhelming thing. And just today I was driving down the road thinking, man, this is the psychology that so many of my body buds are dealing with. And so how can I help each of you wrap your mind around displacing that fear or that overwhelm that comes when you do set a goal, and just putting it aside saying that's lovely. Because I was like, why is this a different feeling? Because I raised my expectations more than typical, because usually I'm eating strategically. I'm just not like very, very specific about my portion sizes, my meal timing and such. I'm still doing the exact same thing. It's like the difference between 80% effort and 100% effort. I'm going to go through that with you guys as we talk through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And Jenny, I'm so glad you need this, doing another cutting phase. Yay! For those of you who aren't familiar with Body Buddies lingo, just really quick, we don't use the word or the phrase weight loss very much because it's so non-definitive. And so I prefer, and you'll notice in the caption here and in the advertisement, it was for fat loss. I only want you to strategize to lose fat loss, which means maybe that scale is not going to reflect, changes that actually are going on because of the way the body works. There is an absolute science to this. And I am here to help you understand that science because what I run into and all the work I have done with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people over the years is I know the little tricks your brain plays on you and the sabotage and the emotions and everything that's like, it's not happening fast enough. I put so much effort in and I'm so frustrated, so screw it all anyway. Or you have that little mistake, you know, that like Oreo, and you're like, oh, son of a, then you're like, well, I'm going to enjoy the day anyway. How many of you have been there? I know. All right. So we want to make sure when we're setting goals and we're serious, now this would entail that you have a desire to change. Now, I can't give you guys a desire to change. I can't do that. I can talk and tell stories and I can tell you how amazing it feels, but nobody but you has that answer for why. Why do you want to improve your life? Why do you want to make a change? Why do you want to feel a freedom in your body? Well, all at the same time, while your brain is telling you this is not freedom, your brain is saying, no, this is restriction. This is restriction to have to try and lose body fat, to have to not eat the donuts, to have to not eat with everything you want and when. And you have to learn how to combat that, because true freedom lies in not paying crazy health insurance premiums or hospital bills, or in loving to be in photos, jump in the photos. How about not feeling ashamed to take off your bathing towel? Now I'm talking a lot of external and aesthetic things, okay? Not to mention, and I am going to say this because I see this so much as I coach, physical intimacy with your spouse. Absolutely. You want to talk freedom and confidence? And is that a relationship builder? Absolutely. And I will say that because I work very closely with people and that does change and it changes relationships. So I will put that out there. Okay, so let's go back now to this whole feeling of you have a goal, you have a desire to improve. How can you set SMART goals? Let's dive into the logistics. So let's start with S is for specific. So what does that mean? It means it's well-defined. So I actually was talking with my mom about this. She and I love to have these deep intellectual conversations about these topics. And so she is a piano teacher. So we found some common ground. I'm a dance teacher. And so I definitely resonated with this. She said, with piano lessons, I have found that specific goes hand in hand with attainable, which is our A. When I've had to be very specific, I realize that I'm expecting too much too soon. And it also helps the student be very specific. I realize that I'm expecting, oh, I'm like reading the same line. Rewind. When I've had to be very specific, I realize that I'm expecting too much too soon. And it also helps the student know exactly what is expected and is willing to achieve it because of it being specific. They know they can accomplish it. Guys, this is why I created the Power Foods Lifestyle tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Tier 4 has a trickle-down effect, meaning you can choose principles from that category and you can apply them in any one of the tiers. Tier 3 is our most intense, where we're going to get the most fat loss for sure. So let's talk about specific, well-defined goals for Tier 1. And if you want to learn more about the tiers, you need to go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/bodbuds, and just type in Power Foods Lifestyle tiers, and it'll bring up the intro, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. I get right to the point, give you the ins and outs of it right there. Tier 1 examples include, and this is our starter. If you have never done strategic eating, you're just getting into the Power Foods Lifestyle, this is where you want to start. You need to eat vegetables 3 times a day. You could do it with your main meals. Maybe you're ready to go 4 times a day, 5 times a day, or to our upper echelon of 6 meals a day, veggies at every meal you eat. You could set a goal to drink 70 ounces of water, which is our minimum expectation. Now, it's not to say I expect everyone to drink a full gallon of water, because if you're not at that level of physical activity, I certainly don't want you drinking that much. You need to listen to your body. How much does it need above and beyond 70 ounces per day? What if you had a goal, a very specific goal, that you would choose power foods at your main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Now, maybe you're not going to have, maybe you're just not ready to cut the Snickers at, mid-afternoon, or maybe you're not ready to say no to that cup of ice cream at bedtime. That's fine. We need to set specific, well-defined goals that will move you through those baby steps into this lifestyle change. So if you are at tier 1, those are some really great goals. Maybe you've mastered tier 1 and you're ready to advance into tier 2. Remember, the higher up in the tier we go, the faster the fat loss. Tier 1, I can't guarantee any fat loss. It depends on how much body fat you have to lose. I have found that if you have anywhere from 15 plus pounds to lose, you could lose weight simply by 50% effort, where somebody who's already fit and healthy, like I'm trying to shred my body, okay? So I've got, this much body fat. I'm probably around, 17, 18% body fat right now. I'm going to try and go down to about 15% in the next, maybe 14% in the next 3 weeks. Realistically, I could do 1% per week because I will be at 100% compliance. And I won't expect anything less of myself. Now, that's not to say if you're not ready for that, that's okay, because I haven't been able to find the right word for it, but I'm going to say there's a maturity in strategic eating that comes with consistent practice. It's just like playing the piano. It's just like learning to throw a baseball. It's just like learning how to swim. You don't just jump in the pool and be magnificent at it. So perhaps that's where you may have fallen short in the past with some of your efforts. You may have been in that diet binge, on the wagon, off the wagon mentality we want to get away from. All right, let's move into tier 2. So this is where we're going to get a little bit more compliance and a little bit faster fat loss. So here's some examples. This is where the Power Foods lifestyle strategies start to come into play. If you have not yet read my book, The Power Foods Lifestyle, go grab yourself a copy. You just have to help with shipping, and I give you the book for free. It's powerfoodslifestyle.com. I also give you the audio version, which is me reading it, and a digital copy, so you can start reading as soon as you place your order. So I just guys, I'm like spoon feeding you guys this lifestyle change. I'm like, please take it. Do it for you and do the next generation. That's really how I feel. We have to stand up and make a change for ourselves, and we can do it. We can, but there's strategy to doing so, and that's what I do as a mind and body strategist. PVC meals means protein, veggie, carb. PVF, protein, veggie, fat. Protein, veggie, fat, carb. So whatever types of meals you're doing, you're going to be just starting to pair your foods wisely in the right anchoring way. And so you can learn about that in the Power Foods lifestyle, but you will be choosing a specific goal would be 70% power foods. And you could set another specific well-defined goal is I will be an abstainer strategy, or I will be a moderator strategy for indulging. Now, those of you new to this vernacular, don't be alarmed. It is a psychological approach to our indulging, not cheating, indulging. We take a positive approach towards all things food. In tier 3, where I am at, some examples of very well-defined specific goals would include I will eat exact portions and I will weigh my food. I will measure it so that my macros, my calories are on point for the entire daily expectation of my strategy that will put my body in a deficit. Now, the deficit alone I could talk on for a full hour. This is why I have a podcast, and I hope you guys are listening to it. One of my most popular podcast episodes that helps people understand how this deficit works is called Healthy Caloric Deficits. And in fact, I'm going to quickly look up which episode it is for you guys. Healthy Caloric Deficits, Body Buddies. That's what I do. Whenever I need to find a podcast episode or a YouTube, I just go to Google, I type Body Buddies, and then I just type the keyword of whatever I'm trying to find, and you'll pull something of mine up, okay? Healthy Caloric Deficits. It is episode number 82. The Body Buddies podcast is on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Okay, let's look at what's my nutrition goal for specific. It says I will eat PVF meals, which those are peak ranges. So that's 15 to 30 grams of protein, 1 to 2 cups of vegetables, and 8 to 12 grams of fat. I will eat PVF meals that are within peak ranges. I will add carbs on Thursday. I'm doing a carb cycle right now. And again, another one of my really popular podcast episodes. I believe that one's 32. How to carb cycle. It's all strategies of getting your blood sugar, basically maximizing the power of the glycogen levels in your body. If all of this is sounding a little too intense or too you're just I don't understand any of this, don't be alarmed. Okay, you need to start with reading the book and I need you to work your way up, okay? And don't be stressed. Just you can find the little things in today's lecture that are going to be helping you. Okay, let me just transfer over, see if anyone has any questions before I move on to measurable. Jessica, 80% versus 100% is where I've been too, hitting it hard again now. Love to hear it, girl. Lori, hey girl, hope this will be available later. I've got to go to sleep. Awesome topic. Yes, this will be recorded. This will sit in the Body Buddies Facebook page so you guys can return to it later if you need to go. I know everyone's got, stuff to do, but it always is fun if you're live. Let's go back into measurable. This means it needs to be obtainable. This needs to be, again, it comes down to a very specific, definable statement. So how far away from completion is it? How far away from the goal are you? Is your goal a pant size? Is your goal a feeling? Is your goal to reverse pre-diabetes? Just had my girl Kathy go into the doctor last week and he announced her pre-diabetes gone. She found Body Buddies in October, started living the Power Foods lifestyle. We've had just so many stories like that, reversing pre-diabetes, even type 2 diabetes, managing fibromyalgia, PCOS. Hypothyroidism is a huge hot topic here at Body Buddies right now. So many of you guys may be watching this who found my grocery store video that just like blew up online. It's been so fun to talk to so many of you who've watched that video, and I'm so glad that it was helpful. If you guys haven't seen that video, just scroll down to one of the videos on Body Buddies, you will find it. So again, how far away from completion is it? When will you achieve it? It's got to be measurable and defined. I will tell you guys, in all reality as a coach, most people who come to me have extremely unrealistic expectations of how the body changes, their expectations on how the scale the changes that should happen on the scale, in measurements, in photos. And 90% of the time, I'm like going like this, figuratively saying, hey, calm down and just be patient and just keep going. Don't let your emotions sabotage this. Because the science is there, you're doing what you need to do. Now get your emotions out of the game and stick with it. That's what I want to say. I just want to take you all by the head and say, would you stop freaking out? Would you just accept the fact that your body needs time to evolve? It did not change overnight. And that is that you have to almost like take a deep breath and exhale and like feel your body. And maybe for the first time say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I have been treating you in such a poor, negative way, and then have these unrealistic expectations. I definitely personify my body, and that was one of the key things for me to overcome years of disordered eating, was I had to start looking at my body as a living organism with feelings. And that has allowed me to bridge that gap between punishment, hatred, loathing towards my body, almost feeling like it was betraying me, into an understanding and a respect for my body, saying, what do you need? What are you trying to tell me? Rather than my spirit. Are you getting where I'm going with this? That there is an actual spirit inside of the body trying to figure out what this body needs. When you take an approach like that, it's incredible the changes that this can have in your life. Okay, so with these expectations, I do want to say, if you're in that category of maybe 15 pounds plus to lose, and we're talking like unhealthy weight. I'm not talking like, oh, this would be nice to lose that. No. I'm talking like this is actual body fat that is not comfortable. It's not supposed to be there. Then you can, here's what I've just kind of thrown out there. 1 pound you can expect with 60 to 80% compliance to strategic eating. 2 pounds per week, 80 to 95% compliance, and 3 pounds per week. Guys, you can't expect 3 pounds per week unless you were at 95 to 100% compliance. And I see this all the time, the rationalization that comes when it's like, well, at least this was better than that. You're right. On an emotional and psychological level, good job. On a scientific level, if that spiked your blood sugar and your blood sugar wasn't supposed to spike, what are you going to do? And that's where we need to be very careful that there is a difference between compassionate empowerment of ourselves on an emotional and a psychological level that's going to sustain our efforts into the strategy. But at the other hand, we can't spend all of our time here, as that can minimize the power of the science. And you can't change the science of how the body works, okay? You can't willpower your way through it or love yourself through it. Okay. All right, let's move on to attainable. It's got to be realistic for your intensity and your life stress and experience. I added that one in there because there are phases of life. Would you guys all agree? There are phases. Sometimes you're smooth sailing. Other times you're like, oh my gosh, we've got all these issues with jobs. Kids are having troubles. Parents are having troubles. So-and-so's neighbor's dog got out and chewed off your plants. I mean, there's just stuff that happens. And some times in life are tricky. And so you have to look at realistically, is my goal attainable for what I can give it right now? So it's got to be realistic for what you can give. And you have to be very honest with yourself, saying, what level of intensity can I give? Don't you dare expect a high level goal if you're not willing to give a high level intensity and compliance. You've got to be kind to yourself in that process. I am a big fan when we set these small goals that are realistic, that are measurable, that are specific. This is essentially what enables us to reprogram our subconscious mind. Now, I wish I could spend another forever on this episode or on this broadcast telling you guys about the subconscious mind, but it's 90% of all of your behavior that drives behavior. It's the sum of your experiences, your thoughts, every pattern that has been programmed into you is your paradigm, the way you look at things and the way that you are triggered to respond. When you are consumed in that 10% of conscious mind by big things in your life going on, maybe a job change, like all those things I mentioned before, then you are going to be relying on that 90% of subconscious programming, meaning it's working in the background without you thinking about it. When we set small, realistic goals that are doable every day, you reprogram your subconscious for this to become your new baseline. Now, does that mean it will be perfect? No, but over time, repeatedly, this process will literally change you from the core. And I can say this because I am living proof of it. I wish I had videos of me 5 years ago trying to talk about these things. You guys would be blown away at the different person that I am. And I'm so grateful for my understanding and for every person I have worked with who has opened my mind to a little more understanding until now. I feel we're sitting in this beautiful orb of knowledge of how to make this happen. Now, does that mean just because we know what to do that it's easy? No, but it means we have a very clear-cut path. We don't need to guess. We don't need to just say, oh, well, I'll just figure it out on my own. I would encourage you, if somebody's figured something out and is very confident because they've watched hundreds of people go that same path and figure it out too, I would encourage you to follow that path. So because of that, I would recommend, if you guys are struggling or need this training, get into my 8-week challenge. You can start at any week. Go to powerfoodslifestyle.com/8 week challenge. One last thought on attainable is that oftentimes you need to bounce those goals off somebody else, whether it's someone like me as a coach, whether it's a friend, whether it's your buddy who is a trainer or someone who's a nutritionist, and say, hey, here's my goals. Do you feel like this is attainable? I have 8 weeks to get there. And you need to be very realistic. Again, bouncing it off, how intense can I take this right now? Okay. All right. R is for relevant. It needs to be relevant to the behavior needed, not the result produced. So meaning I really abhor goals. Now this is very traditional. So if you do this, it's okay, but I'm going to teach you a new way. When people say, my goal is to lose 5 pounds. No. That's fine if that's in the back of your mind. That's the goal that's up here. Your true goals need to be the behavior required to produce that result. Okay? None of these are outcomes. These are all things I can control, which is behavior. I cannot control, just like you cannot control, the outcome of your efforts. But I know from experience and study and doing this over and over again that if I follow this behavior, I will produce the outcome that I desire. That's one benefit you guys have of having access to me. And I hope you're at the level of access to me that you need for right now in your life. You have that luxury of somebody who knows what strategy is needed in order to elicit a certain response by a certain time with the right intensity. Okay, and so that's a really cool thing, to not have to guess, not have to just willpower it through, blind your eyes. That's what a lot of people do, and most people can't, they're like digging their way through a cave, and then they're not finding the jewels, so they give up and turn around. And I'm sitting there saying, honey, you were 2 feet from the diamonds. I can see the full picture. Keep going. Let's go. Tweak this, hammer like this. You're almost there. All right. Now something Will Smith said, I love using this. It's just like a little paraphrased example, but he was being interviewed and he was talking about all of his successes and things that he's been able to achieve. And he talked about how you don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. You do that every single day, and soon you have a wall. Everything in your fat loss journey comes down to your little bricks. Behavior-based, attainable, specific, measurable goals. Last but not least, time-bound is our T. When is it due, and is it short enough to measure progress? So my mom, like she was talking about with her students, she said, I set goals with my students last year and then never looked at them or reviewed them with her students. There was no accountability, and so did the students remember what their goals were? Probably not, right? Now that they are time-bound with weekly progress assessments and monthly accountability, they are all reaching their goals. Time-bound is good. So that's one reason why the 8-week challenge, I have just learned 8 weeks is really a great focus period for us, for working on nutrition and fitness changes in habits. That's also the length of time that I've designed the Body Buddies Accountability Workbook for. You can get that at powerfoodslifestyleblog.com/store. I think it's just $5, and it's a one-time purchase, and you can reuse it over and over. I tell everyone, store it in your Google Drive, your Dropbox, your hard drive, whatever, so you can print it and reuse it. And it's going to help you set those weekly goals, and you're going to get points based off compliance to the behavior-based goals that you set. So it's all about changing behavior, not about, oh, did you lose 2 pounds and get there? You don't even focus on outcomes. Outcomes happen as a result of the behavioral changes that you are doing. So I wish I had time to go into some of the biggest obstacles to fat loss. I wanted to do that, but I will just share one of them because it was a conversation I had via text message with a buddy just a few minutes before coming on this. And he messaged me, and I'm not going to say his name, so I'm going to actually share some of the conversation, okay? Kristy, I'm genuinely worried about myself. I find myself spending almost 3 hours at the gym each day. I don't think I'm consuming enough calories because I only sometimes have an appetite, and I don't know what to do to stop this cycle. I need some advice, please. So he's spending a lot of time and under eating. Sometimes we're not spending time at the gym and overeating. So wherever you're at on that scale of apathy versus obsessiveness, our goal is to help bring it to a balanced strategy. So I replied, first of all, I want you to track your food for a day and send it to me. Second of all, on an internal level, notice how I immediately went inside. What is the biggest gaping hole in your life you are trying to fill? I got a 3-paragraph response. And I said, all of the above, no doubt. It's pretty incredible what happens when we fill that void and do anything we can to fill it. Sometimes that's food. Sometimes that's the gym. Whatever that coping mechanism is, there will be one. And I talk about this very specifically over on my YouTube channel called Power Your Life Today, where I teach you guys these mental discipline tactics. Then I replied, I'm sorry things have been so rough. What are you doing to fuel your mind each day with positivity? And I replied, not much, to be honest. Or he said, not much, to be honest. I said, can I please get you to watch one of my power sessions each morning, which are 5 to 7 minutes, then journal for 5 minutes about what you learn or realize? He said, okay. So we have to be putting ourselves in a mental state of focus, of belief in ourselves, of intention, of believing that we can do it, believing that we can do difficult things. Guys, life is difficult. If we don't know that yet, we need to. You are going to have phases of life that are difficult. And it is very important that you are working on these very specific measurable goals in order to reprogram those basic habits that come about as your default function when those difficult times hit. Okay? And so I hope that each of you are thinking deeply about what you can do. What are the specific, measurable, attainable, time-bound, what was the other one, relevant goals that will help you take it up a level? Okay, I will go ahead and read you my goals, and then I will say goodnight because all of my Body Buddies World members are waiting for me to go live for their Q&A. All right, nutrition. And perhaps this is a little accountability for me. Oh, one last thing. I will say I never track my food, and I get requests from MyFitnessPal all the time, and I'm just like, delete, because I don't track, because that's the whole purpose of the Power Foods lifestyle. However, with this intense regimen I'm doing right now, I am tracking, and if you'd like to watch the foods I eat, I won't be really talking about it much anywhere, because I like all this Body Buddy stuff to be about you guys. But if you are curious to know what I'm eating, go ahead and friend me on MyFitnessPal, Kristy Jo Hunt, KristyJoHunt, and you can take a look at what I'm eating. Now, it doesn't put meal times, which I think is half the battle of my strategies of timing, but it will give you an idea for portions, pairing, and things like that. So here's my goals. Nutrition. I will eat PVF meals that are within peak ranges. I will add carbs Thursday. Fitness. I will focus on releasing the pain and tension from my body through my chosen activities. I've already programmed in that I can knock out HIIT, steady state, I can grip my muscles, I can have mind to muscle connection, I can have great posture, I've mastered all that, guys. Like, that's not hard for me. I have to get to a point now where I'm working with a chronically painful body with my severe scoliosis. I've got a foot injury. I'm walking around with a crutch. Now is the time, in spite of the fact I am shredding, for me to listen to my body. And isn't it incredible that if I nail my nutrition, do some basic cardio, and connect with my body on a muscular level for feeling good, that I will be just fine in shredding. It's not about working harder in the gym, it's about working smarter. Your nutrition is what will shred you faster. Mindset. I will say my 5 affirmations out loud every morning. You can see my 5 affirmations right there. I put them nice and big on my wall. And then spiritual, I will pray on my knees and ask for an open heart to be guided and directed each day. So I believe truly that our spirits are here to learn how to function in this body. That the body is a gift, it's a vehicle for our life. This is a way for us to grow closer to God. This is a way for us to learn more about ourselves than in any other way. This cleans our brains, this cleans our mindset, our focus, the ripple effects and the after effects of this enhanced focus. While society says, oh, that makes you narcissistic or that makes you so self-consumed, I would argue against that. When done correctly, this will be the most powerful tool in your life to be more unselfish, to give more value, more service, more love to other people, because you will feel amazing that you don't have to spend time consumed in feeling insecure, in feeling sick, in feeling frustrated, emotional. You will be set free in order to be of value in the way that God wants you to be. And that is my take on this all. Now, I have evolved over the years. Many of you have been here through the years with me. And the journey is real, and I hope that each of you are open to that evolution within yourself. Your focus will change over time, but I hope that we will each try to be a little better and power our bodies. So take it one meal, one workout, one day at a time. Come over, join me on powerfoodslifestyle.com/8-week challenge. Have a good night.
Are you sick of the low energy mid-afternoon crashes? Feeling a bit fluffy in your clothes? And just knowing you should be doing better with your health? Sign up today for Body Buddies 8-week challenge. With new groups starting every Monday, you can enroll at any time, whenever you're ready to commit to powering your body. Go at your own pace with the meal plans, workouts, mindset training, and enjoy the uplifting and supportive community in this private group. For less than $10 a week, you can get the most advanced training in lifestyle correction that you can maintain. Go to body-buddies.com to learn more today. Sign up and get a free 15-minute call with Kristy Jo to help steer you in the right direction for you. Power your body, one meal, one workout, and one day at a time with the Body Buddies 8-week challenge.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes. You can learn more about Body Buddies and Power Foods Lifestyle by going to www.body-buddies.com, BODY-BUDDIES.com, and powerfoodslifestyle.com. That's www.powerfoodslifestyle.com.
Information in this episode is provided for informational purposes and is not meant to substitute the advice provided by your own physician or other medical professional. Information and statements regarding dietary supplements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.